everybody, I'm Josh.
And I'm Eitan.
Welcome back to the 16th episode of the Younger Half podcast. We're two 14-year boys from New Jersey who discuss, debate, and share insights on everything from history to politics, sports, current events, and more. Follow us on Instagram at the Younger Half and all other social media platforms at the Younger Half. To see more of our podcast, check us out on your favorite podcasting platform at the Younger Half. You can also check out our YouTube channel to see our faces during our podcast. Also, if you'd like to help grow the podcast by supporting us with a monthly donation, head to anchor.fm/youngerhalf/support or click on the link in the description. By the way, we are working on the website this week. Hopefully, doesn't mean it's being released, but we are starting, the process again of building it. The reason I'm laughing here is because in our notes over here, it says website question mark. I don't know what
Website?
Yeah,
like what?
guys,
What's the question there, Josh?
The website is being made.
Huh?
I don't know. Moving on. Okay. Also, hopefully, since we're off a few days this week of school, we'll also be working on merch and hopefully keep an eye on the return of Career Angle. Also, oh yeah, something else is if you'd like a the debate special to be recorded again, that can be arranged. So head to what, Eitan, to vote to.
Well, yeah, we have a poll on our Instagram now, so just go to @theyounger_half on Instagram, follow us, and yeah, check out our story. You'll be able to choose which one you want, if you want to hear another one,
or if you just didn't really enjoy it, which is perfectly fine, or you
because
it's serious. Know. Let us know, because if people don't want it, we're not gonna waste 2 hours or even probably longer than so
yeah, so always email us at theyounger@gmail.com. Hit us up anywhere.
Yeah,
let us know feedback.
Yeah, for this week, this episode, we got Trump has COVID, which is crazy. We'll get into that. Cases are rising. We got some fantasy football trades to discuss. So we got a lot going on.
Everything, guys.
Yeah, debate fall. We got a lot going on here. So let's get into it.
All right, welcome back, everyone. This week we have a lot, as Josh just said, a lot to talk about. So to kick everything off, the biggest news I think last week, is President Trump has COVID. And just so an FYI, a little bit of a disclaimer, I would say, is that we're recording this whenever. And as of now, he's in Walter Reed Medical Center. When you're listening to this, he may not be, or these people may also be negative. So just stick with us. Some of the facts might change, because as we know about COVID in general, is that within a day someone could be out of the hospital or even worse, in the hospital. So all these facts are just changing. So that's just our little
bear with us.
Yeah, a little disclaimer, but everything we have, don't worry, should be and is factually correct. So President Trump and his wife have COVID, and last week he announced on Twitter. This was after Hope Hicks, who was an aide to the president, tested positive. And I'm just gonna read off the top people who have it, and then we're just gonna get into what it means for the election and everything. And it's not such a long list right now, but it could be later. It's a lot more than zero, So Hope Hicks, as he just said, an aide to the president, is positive. Obviously, Trump and his wife is positive. Nicholas.
Melania's not in the hospital, is she?
No, she's home.
As of now, yeah.
Yeah. So Nicholas Luna, an assistant to the president, is positive. Mike Lee, and I'll just read the senators right now. Mike Lee, Thomas Tillis, I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce the name, and Ron Johnson, all Republican senators. They all are positive. Also, Kellyanne Conway, who was the former counselor to the president.
That's an interesting family story. Talking about the right person there, isn't it?
Her husband is very anti-Trump.
Yeah, and then wasn't it ripping apart their family or something like that?
And she actually left
what
Trump.
What was her daughter? Her daughter was on Twitter saying it's rip it or something like that. It's what I heard one time. Don't fact check or quote me on that.
Yeah, but
yes,
she actually hasn't.
I respect that though. actually
Yeah.
stepping away from the game, stepping away from solidly high positioning job. You know.
Right, and that's the thing. That but she still had contact with the president, even though she hasn't been in the White House for a little while. But she did help prepare Trump for the debate, and she was at the Amy I forgot her last name, but when the Supreme Court nomination, they had a thing at the Rose Garden, so she was there too. And then Bill Steppen, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he's Trump's campaign manager, which is huge. Ronna McDaniel is the RNC chairwoman. She is positive, and the former governor of our home state, New Jersey, Chris Christie, is positive. He had contact with the president very a lot, really, because he was helping him. He was like his main guy helping him prepare for the debate. So now that we listed like everyone who's positive out of now, let's just like really say like what President Trump having COVID-19 could mean to for the election.
Yeah,
He
and also a bunch of other stuff. I think you we'll get into this. You're telling me something while we're making this episode, something like isn't it? It's like affecting some. I don't know. It's a whole bunch of effects from it. Eitan will break down for us. So
yeah
Eitan, yeah, tell us the whole bunch of outbreaks. Not outbreaks. The outcomes of
yeah.
Trump having
So
COVID.
So I'll talk about a little bit about it, and then obviously we'll get into a nice conversation about what it means for like everything. So, and
Getting our opinions.
yeah, yeah. So everything, a lot of people have been saying that, and it's known to be that October is the final stretch. This is the month for election. Where they're campaigning their butts off. They're at 5 rallies a day. This is the month that you're like in your final stretch, and now that he's quarantined and has COVID, so that's just 14 days out of November. Then and now, so there's like 30 whatever days to the election, so minus 14 because Trump can't be on the campaign trail. Yes, he can do it virtually, but it's not the same.
Yeah, it's that.
Um,
That's actually something that is like
a
was a
huge
big
thing.
yeah, like you just said, these are crucial weeks.
hmm
Crucial
And him being out for
home
almost
stretch,
half,
yeah. Yeah, and
and
also it's crazy. Like I think I heard something like if everything goes well with his recovery time, I heard that he'll be coming out like on the day he'll be coming out of quarantine like the day of the debate or something like that.
yeah, and even that, like, let's say he's hopefully, like, we'll get into this also in a second, but like, hopefully he's fine, but he could still have it in his system. So in 14 days, he could test positive again and go back into quarantine 14 days. And then by the time he gets out, it's like the week before election night. So it's
It's like worst case
really,
scenario though.
yeah, like, but it's possible for it to still be in his system. Like, if he's positive again, you know?
Hmm. I mean,
So,
we
like,
don't really know. We're not doctors, so
well, we'll see. But yeah, so like it's just like, and this, and like he's the president of the United States. I want to hear your reaction to this, but like everyone in power has contact with him, and he has the virus. Like, what do you think about everything that I just said?
yeah, I mean, it's crazy how one person had or one or well now it's become an outbreak basically, but really just one person having
Crazy.
it like affecting so many like a Supreme Court case, this and that affecting so much. It's crazy.
And it's true, like it makes sense, like it would be worst case scenario if he got it because like he's in contact as we see with so many people. Just
Yeah,
so many people. It's crazy.
for sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Let's get into the response.
Yeah, I think like I know you had a strong reaction before when you're talking about it. Like what do you think about Pelosi and other people like
Yeah.
making
So
a Republican versus Democrat here?
yeah. So let's. You want to tell the people who are listening basically what Pelosi said?
Yeah, so I don't have an exact quote, but pretty much she said like, oh, she was like upset that they didn't like brief her on the exact thing, on like his exact report and
Yeah, and
whatever.
she kind of also said what a lot of people are saying is like a few things, kind of like I told you so, and like he had it coming, you know,
Yeah,
kind like you like he's not wearing his mask,
right. That's
or
what I was
he's
saying.
not
Like,
social distancing, or.
Well, you wrote like that he is the president. They were taking a lot of precautions, but there's still like
Well,
no
that's
mask.
so
He still
so
didn't wear a
that's
mask.
something separate. But I don't love the response. I don't like the response of not just Democrats or people who are making it into a politics thing.
I know, right? This should be something like unifying the country, like really just pulling for him. He is our leader, whether we like him or not. You know?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I was gonna say. Whether you whether you hate him because of politics or are his hardest core supporter, bottom line, he's a human being.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I have to say. Like bottom line,
Yeah,
he he's a human being who has a deadly virus.
and he's in an age group where it's high risk. You know,
Like,
it's
stop making everything so political. Just
and
take a step back for a second.
that's everything in 2020. I feel like I don't know if you'll agree with me on this, but I feel like everything lately has been so political. You know, like even just saying like RBG passing away, like oh like people weren't sad because she like was a liberal. You know,
Yeah,
like everything's so political. You know.
yeah. I think that's a fine point actually, and just like with everything, even you know, like I don't know, I can't think of an example, but like that's a good example. Like you just said, is RBG. She's a Supreme Court justice, served her country,
Right.
and people are like good, or are that's a small majority, but
But still, it just like I feel like I know like the hardest thing everyone said like 2020 worst year ever, and there are a lot of things, but I think just like one of the worst things for me, obviously there's a lot of bad things about 2020, is just that like I feel like everything's become so political, you
yeah,
know?
I mean,
Maybe it's because I'm like older and I understand it. And like even when I was 7 and Obama was president, you know, like it was political. Like just like I guess it could have to do with like I'm 14. I understand what's going on. I just feel like everything is so political, you know?
yeah, like why can't everyone just like I don't even know what the word is, but you know, come together.
Yes, come
But
together.
that's like that's a
Yeah,
very it's a very
like Biden said this
very
also.
like it's a very what's the word I'm looking for? It's very like like perfect scenario, you know?
Yeah, I know, but still, like, I don't know, like Biden's been saying this also, like that it's some issues aren't like Republican versus Democrat. It's like sometimes it's an American issue, you know. And I
Yeah,
think it's like
that's
very
like been his
powerful.
big that's been like yeah, like you just said, his big thing is like the American people.
Yeah. Also, something like funny that I want to say, the light in the mood, like something funny is that, is it funny? I don't know. There's something interesting is probably a better word. Is that White House first like they weren't the White House wasn't planning on reporting that Hope Hicks who one of like Trump's closest aides was positive. They weren't even planning on discussing that, but reporters actually broke the news. And the funny thing, I heard several reporters talking, and you wouldn't guess what the telltale sign is that something was wrong. You want to know what the sign was that like something was wrong? They said everyone in the White House started wearing masks and everyone is starting to like do all these things that they should have been doing from a while ago. But like they saw like top aides who would never wear a mask that were all wearing masks, so they knew like something was happening,
Right, right.
which
So
I
they
thought was
they
like wow,
they dug deep a bit.
yeah. That just like so funny. Like there's someone not funny. I keep saying funny. It's not even like the right word, you know. I just think that like it's just crazy that
Weird that weird that
yeah.
the people running the government are not listening to the rules.
Yeah, and like when Trump went on the helicopter ride the other day to Walter Reed, like reporters were saying this is the most people I've seen in mass, you know? Like
Right.
it's just so crazy,
Yeah,
you
I mean
know?
it is.
We're like 6 months into this pandemic and they just started wearing masks. And I'm
Only because
I'm
the guy has COVID.
yeah, and I'm
The
kind of
guy, President
impressed.
Trump.
Yeah, the guy. Like I'm kind of impressed though. It took 6 months to get to the president. Like that's that I mean like they were I don't know what precautions were
What are
in
you
place, but
impressed by? There had no precautions. You
I
you
know.
told
I
me while we
just
were making. You told me while we were. This is what Ethan told me while we were making this episode. Is that like I think um I think like didn't you say the White House
Oh
staff
yeah,
just got emailed you? Yeah, you go ahead and say it.
yeah. Like this was the first time that the White House staff actually got emails what to do if you're showing symptoms.
Yeah.
They said, "Oh, don't come to work anymore if you're showing symptoms." But
Where'd you hear
last
that?
week, I just follow this reporter on Twitter, Maggie Haberman. She's like the lead White House correspondent for the New York Times, and she's like posting all these things.
Hmm,
She's a very good reporter. I don't know. She's like always briefing people. She said
interesting.
like. This is what she said. Like 3 days after the public learned about President Trump's COVID-19 infection and the virus has spread through the White House and federal government, White House staff finally received an email telling them what to do if they have symptoms.
Crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
She said the email was forwarded to her by like one of the White House management.
I mean,
Just crazy.
they're now just doing that. That's pretty. That's like almost That's like basically negligent.
I don't know, man. And I just think how, I don't, I still like, I'm thinking funny, but I'm not saying funny. It's just crazy how the president of the United States got the virus that he said was at first like a Democratic hoax or not so, and downplayed, not so big or that, you know. And I don't know. I just can't believe he
They,
has corona.
yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like the
Trump
word I
has
guess
corona.
you're looking for is like ironic.
Yeah, I think that's a good word.
I agree that the guy who's been like bashing masks, but I mean, I feel like
He's still
the
human, yeah.
understanding has been that masks protect you, not me, unless you're wearing an N95 mask, which is not
Right.
likely, but
Right. And also just I forgot what I was gonna say, but like just that he like people were saying like they're like using his words against him, like why don't you inject bleach or why don't you like obviously it's not like the right time
feel
to do
bad for
it.
laughing.
Yeah, I know. I also feel bad for laughing. I just thought like Twitter had fun when
Twitter's
they
very Twitter's a very hateful place.
yeah, I don't know. People just have all these like I guess they're
That's why I
jokes, but
like
like if you
that's why I
think
like
about it, they're not funny.
that's why I like TikTok
TikTok.
because you could it's a good you have your stuff, so let's say you have your stuff that is funny, then you know
Yeah, a little off topic, but I feel like I always like I hear my sister say like, if you like put avocados in water, like it'll be like fresh for longer. I'm like, let me guess, you heard that in the TikTok, like stuff like that. Like it's not like true. Like I don't know. I just feel like all the time, like when my sister says something like funny or like something that like doesn't really make sense, like some like hack, I'm like, oh, let me guess, you saw that on the
yeah,
For You
yeah,
page,
those hacks are always fake, but I mean like
Yeah,
the funny stuff, you should there's it's a good platform.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great platform. You should definitely follow us at the Younger Half.
Yeah, TikTok. Nice plug, Aton.
Yeah,
um
thank you.
so
Yeah,
uh,
take it away. COVID in
yeah,
our
so
states.
we have a bunch of cases rising in throughout the country. So here's a quote from an article from Reuters. I'm
I think it's
Reuters.
root. I don't now. I'm forgetting. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, Rooter.
Reuters.com. I don't know. Um, Here's a quote from their article. Well, first some background, but cases have been rising a lot. We'll get into what our schools have been doing a bit, and to what New York City actually imposed, which is very interesting, I thought.
Right.
So here's a quote from the article. 9 U.S. states have reported record increases in COVID-19 cases over the last 7 days, mostly in the upper Midwest and West, where chilly weather is forcing more activities indoors. Which, if you think about it logically, makes sense. People are no longer able to,
Even
have a friend over outside.
yeah, even like May and like in the height of the pandemic, they said once we're getting closer to fall weather, it's only gonna get worse.
Yeah, it
Because
was the same
everyone's gonna
thing
be
that I
like,
heard was like with Florida, but the summer. Now that's 100 degrees out and humid, nobody wants to be outside. He wants to go inside to the air conditioning.
yeah, exactly, and also like, okay, it's 50 degrees outside. Let me sit outside with my friend. Like, no.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
People
I mean, like you
I,
have
I
to,
found
but
I
still.
found that people just don't care anymore. Like,
That's the most unfortunate thing because like my school, I don't like we'll get into it, but
yeah,
like
we'll get into the details of the
like
schools,
we're
but
zooming now. Just like I feel like it's so selfish for some of these people.
yeah,
I
like I
know
also
like
heard that I heard
yeah,
my mother told me this was like so basically my school there was chatter of when we get back from break of having a 2 week quarantine. or quarantine or whatever. So
Right.
my mother, it was smart thing. She said like it wouldn't matter because the problem is not in school. The problem is nobody would listen to that quarantine.
But
I thought
even
I thought it was a pretty smart thing. The
but
problem is not the cases are not spreading in school.
sure.
They're
Yeah.
they're spreading. People are not listening to the rules outside. They're going to each other
And then
houses.
they're
Or
bringing it to the school, you know?
no, but think about it. Think about it. COVID-19 tracing. You trace it back to. It's not traced back to it's spread in the school. I mean, maybe like
Right.
odds
That's
are
why that's why the school always says like even though we're telling you rules now, okay, wear a mask and social distance doesn't mean as soon as you walk 5 feet out of the school, go hug your friends
exactly
without a mask.
right.
Like
Correct.
that was their biggest thing is that like how can they enforce all these rules that are helping it stop the spread like outside of
And
school, you
that
know?
that's actually let's get into a good
Yeah, but
topic.
public things to say.
Is schools getting into private life?
Yeah, and that's like that was also like the same issue. I don't know if you want to get into this now. Should we talk
Let me
about
finish the
coronavirus?
quote and then.
All right, yeah. Finish the quote and then we'll talk about it.
So yeah, just to more proof about the rising, not whatever.
Yeah.
But on Saturday alone, four states, Kentucky, Minnesota, Montana, and Wisconsin, saw record increases in new cases, and nationally, nearly
Wow.
49,000 new infections were reported. The highest for a and, oh, sorry. This was on a Saturday alone.
Wow.
This happened
One
on one Saturday.
Saturday.
The highest for a Saturday in 7 weeks, according to a Reuters analysis. Kansas, Nebraska, New Hampshire, South Dakota, and Wyoming also set new records for cases last week.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was all Saturday. Well, the first part.
Yeah. So
Wow.
what is your school doing? Like, give me, talk about your school a bit.
Yeah, so what my school is doing, and I think that like big kudos to my school. It was actually very smart. They're requiring everyone to get tested. Like we're on Zoom now, and they're requiring everyone to get tested and we can't like go back to school. Like they're waiting like an extra week, so like they give everyone time to get tested, so no one has like the excuse like so we're extending Zoom school to a week so everyone can get tested, and they're not allowed back in the building unless you have a negative result. And not just the students, they're testing teachers, the security staff, the administrative whatever staff, the principals and the office staff. So everyone's getting tested, which I think is very smart. I'm just afraid, like, if I'm, let's say, negative, I feel like I'm going to be like one of the like few kids that are negative because
I have a question.
I'm just scared that, yeah.
This is irrelevant, but does the test hurt? Like, what?
Oh yeah, I got it. Like my school did something similar in the beginning of the year. I had to get it. Oh my god, it was so painful. You never got a COVID test?
No.
You're lucky. It's so painful. They stick it all the way up.
Yeah.
It's so painful.
I heard
Oh
it
my
like
god.
depends on like the doctor or nurse you have.
Yeah, I guess so. I went to like Inglewood Hospital near our town, so like I don't know. It was a little far away, but like it was painful. Yeah, they said like some tests like they only stick it halfway, but others they like I don't know. It was painful.
Yes. So, but for me, the problem with
Yeah,
that
what is your
testing.
school doing?
So
Also,
once let me counter your school for a sec. I don't
yeah,
understand, what does that do? Let's say you're getting back to school Monday, and they test you the Tuesday before because you said you're off for a week.
right.
Um, but so then what? Let's say somebody contracts the virus on Wednesday or Thursday or
So
Friday or Shabbat or
right,
Saturday.
what? Well, you're supposed to be like not so much like doing all those things that people are doing. Like you're supposed to still
Oh,
be wearing a
okay.
mask and social distance.
Because that's gonna happen,
I know. But that just puts trust in the kids,
which is a bad idea.
Right. But I think it's still like it's something.
Not if it doesn't work.
I don't know. And I think I don't know. It's also like you're I don't know. You have a good point. You do. And that's like the only issue with it.
Is that what, like, nobody's gonna listen? Is my point.
Yeah, that's the issue.
Um,
I mean, if they didn't listen to it before, and they've been doing all the things they're going to do until school reopens again. After they get tested and they did it before, then they'd be negative or positive, you know? If they're without a mask and not social distancing before the tests, the same as they are
Right,
after the
right, right,
test,
right. I
then
got you.
they'd probably be positive, you know? I like,
I mean, not
God
necessarily.
forbid. Yeah. I mean, yeah, obviously like not like 100%, but maybe.
I mean, yeah. So then that brings a question that's been like largely debated is like, do the schools have a right to be into your private life?
I mean, this also came up with like phones, you know, like should the school like I don't know if like your school, but I know like some of my like schools like in our town, like they put like restrictions on the phone like during school, like something with like the Wi-Fi or something. And
Well,
should they
well, that's
continue
that's
those
two
kind
different
of?
things though, because you're
Well, I
on their
know.
you're on their campus during school. So my question is, are they allowed to be
Yeah, but you say the same
enforcing social
thing.
distancing and not allowing you if
Well,
stuff like
you're
that?
well, it's different because you're on your campus in school. I'm saying like you can say
No,
similar
I meant
things.
I meant are they like allowed to just like be in your private life, quote unquote? Are they allowed to be
I think so.
telling you to,
Yeah, I think so because it has to, it's not like okay fine you're going to do something like whatever, but this is the important part. Whatever you're doing outside of school will impact what happens inside school. That's the thing, you know? Like if you contract outside of school and then you go to school, then, you know, it brings a risk to the school. So I think, and it just like, it's not like they're telling you to do crazy things, you know? It is like basic health concerns that you should be following regardless of whether your school says or not, you know? Like they're just telling you to wear a mask and social distance. You've also been told that since March 1st, you know? So it's not like, I mean, like, yes, the schools are being more strict than you have because no one's really been told you. But now that we're back in school, like, yeah, they are saying what medical professionals are saying inside or outside of school. You should still continue it. Like, and it makes sense because why should you like only go into school as I like said before, you're in school socially distant, and then the second you walk out, you take off your mask and hug your friend.
yeah. I mean, I strongly drum roll. No,
Mm.
I I I strongly agree.
Okay, good. I was like, why are you disagreeing with me, Josh?
Your mind is like getting ready to race, like racing. Oh, how do you
Yeah.
say this? Oh, well, my
Get
I
all the
have
facts in
I have a
front.
counter to that. Well, because Dr. Fauci says that, but
Yeah. No, so like, what do you
I
mean you agree? Like
yeah, I
you,
100% agree. I mean, it's not like they're telling you like you shouldn't have a phone outside, you know,
yeah,
because that has nothing to do with them. Yeah, then they shouldn't be telling you what to do.
right.
But
It
now
directly affects the
it
school
doesn't just directly affect you; it directly affects
in the
everybody in
school.
the
Yeah.
community. And the school
Right.
like is the community. So
Yeah.
I think that 100% that they have a right to be telling you what to do 100% regarding COVID. 100%.
Yeah, and it's not as like I'm sure you agree with this also. Like it's not like they're telling you something that's out of nowhere. Like
That's
you've
what
been
I'm saying.
told
It's
this
not like
since
they're
the
telling you.
beginning.
It's not like they're making up their own rules or they're making up. Yeah, do they have their own policies? Sure, but that's based off of medical committees. All
Right.
a lot of. It's not just random mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, I know. I 100%. Yeah, exactly. Let's talk
Yeah,
about the New York City fine. What were you saying before?
yeah. So um, right. So as right. So New York City. Sorry, I couldn't get my words out there. New York City to fine people who refuse to wear masks as COVID-19 positivity rate tops 3% for this first time in months. So,
Wow.
how it would work is like, let's say I don't even know if it'll be a law enforcement officer or probably is my
They
guess.
also have like officers, just like like volunteers, you know,
Yeah.
whatever,
They'll
anyone.
say, let's say you're not wearing a mask, and oh, by the way, I think is this only in New York City?
Yeah, this is what New York City decided. I don't think Cuomo or anyone else in New York City decided to expand it, or
Right.
just like for now, all we know is that New York City is starting to find people. But I think I'm sure like around the country, there's a couple towns, you know, like maybe major cities that all are also finding people for not wearing masks. I don't know the exact details.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So how it work? They'll tell you like, here's a free mask, right?
Right.
And then, but then if you refuse, then
Give you a
then you get
ticket.
the fine.
which makes sense. Like, it's not like they're saying, okay, you don't have a mask, last chance, bye. Like, they're saying, here's a mask, put it on,
Yeah,
or
I like it.
here's
I
a
like it. I
fine.
like it. You know,
I
they're
think that,
taking action. You know,
and it's rational. It's not like saying, okay, you forgot it at home, too bad. They're saying,
exactly.
like, here's a mask, put it on, or bye.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
I think it's good that they're taking action.
Yeah, and it's not nothing extreme. They're handing them the mask, saying, put it on, and have a good day.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
and I think that's smart.
Yeah, I think it's smart of them. They're taking the proper precautions that they need to keep the city safe.
And I keep saying this, like, it's nothing crazy. It's like, here's a mask, do
Yeah,
it or not. Like, they're
exactly.
not saying like, blah blah blah. Like, you
Yeah,
forgot at
they're
home,
not,
too bad. Here's $500, pay us now.
or like here's jail time. You know, it's not
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Here's a mask,
yeah. I
put it
don't think
on.
in the article we read the fine number was not
Yeah, disclosed.
disclosed.
I guess
Yeah.
we have to refuse a mask to find out. Let's
Yeah,
go to the
anytime.
city.
Next trip to,
The
we'll
city.
bike to the city or something.
Yeah. We'll we'll like, yeah, we'll have to record what happened. um
Yeah.
that would be funny. All right, next topic, the debate fallout. So, as I'm sure many of you watched last week, 2 weeks ago, I don't know, SNL also last week did their like season opened, their season opener, their cold open. It was really funny. They mocked the debate, and like one of like as soon as it started, they said like even though it was last week, it feels like 300 years ago. Like like
Uh,
feels like it took forever.
right. Yeah.
Um,
That's
but
true
yeah,
with like the news cycle nowadays. You know.
yeah. So just some of the fallouts is that um after both candidates were as as we talked about in our bonus segment that you should all check out. Um
Ethan loves
uh
his plugs.
yes. So yeah, we talked about how like both candidates were like constantly interrupting, and their calls for the moderator to have the ability to mute the mic. And what was interesting is that Chris Wallace, who's the moderator in the first presidential debate, the other,
Is he gonna be? Do you know in the next one?
nah, it's someone else. I forgot who. I'm blanking on who it is, but it's like a different like news. Like that was like the Fox News debate. Now I think like the next one's like ABC or CNN, one of those. They switch off, so they send their own moderators.
Right.
So I what Chris Wallace said, which was interesting. He said like he doesn't like no one like no moderator wants to, or no one in general wants to be in the position to mute like the president of the United States or the former vice president of the United States. Like the American people have to like hear what they want to say, like whether they're talking over or not. Like you can't prevent, like this is like important. What they say should be marked down, and like what the American people should hear what they have to say.
Do you agree with that?
I think like which one? Like what
Do you
Chris
agree with
Wallace
Chris
said?
Wallace?
Yeah, I think he's true. Like I think he's right. Like why should they mute the American? Like I know it's getting out of control, but I feel like honestly, I don't know. I feel like Trump just like will talk louder and it will catch in Biden's mic. I don't think
I
it
don't
will
think that's
like.
how it works.
What do you mean? If they just turn off his mic, if they just turned off his
No,
microphone, then
I don't think that would work. It
what?
wouldn't.
Like
It
turning off
wouldn't.
microphones?
Biden's mic wouldn't catch what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, I guess because now they're distant. Like,
I
yeah,
think
what do you think? Come on, Josh.
I disagree with Chris Wallace because I think that there's a time and place. Like he'll get his turn. He needs to be just. He needs to have something simple, patience.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's also yeah. You have a good point because like if he like like he agreed to do like to he agreed to the rules of the debate, and that was not to interrupt. So like I feel like he shouldn't like the moderator shouldn't use it as like an extra thing. They should use like only when it's needed, like when they're cutting off. Is that what you're trying to say?
I mean, I don't like the idea because I think it will get out of hand.
Yeah, right. Like, oh, like the moderator is biased because he muted Trump 10 times and only Biden three.
Yeah, or
You
I don't
know,
know.
something like that.
I just don't think it would be a good idea.
Yeah, I know. I hear you.
You
That
know?
is true. I don't know. I feel like they should still have the ability, like just in case, like maybe don't use it like mute, 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 mute. But like if what happens happens, but like before, just have it mute so Chris Wallace or or the moderator can say like, guys, both of you, like calm down, take a minute to shh. like let Mr. Biden go, let President go. I don't think I even if it's allowed, like I think it should just be there, like just in case, not something that they should go like mute, 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 like only like once.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
You don't
The
know.
only way to know is for somebody to actually use it, which we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see if it happens.
Yeah, so on to some sports. So the Heat, so excuse me, not the Heat. Um,
NBA Finals, guys. Have you been watching?
yeah, excuse me. The Lakers are up 2-0. Lakers are up 2-0, but likely to
It's in the
change.
championships.
Yeah. They're losing by 6 to the Heat with 4:40 left to go.
As we speak. How many more games are there? Will it be over
Well,
by the
no, this
time
is
we
game
record?
3.
Oh, game three.
But
All
if
right.
if Heat lose, the Lakers have the potential to sweep, which is interesting.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, in other news, also Doc Rivers, head coach of the Clippers, was fired from the Clippers and went on to the Sixers. I thought it was a great hire by the Sixers. I think he'd be.
Why? Oh, do you know why he was fired? Sorry.
Um, I mean, the Clippers have great talented players, but they only made the. I think they made the like quarterfinals, which is way below their expectations.
Oh, really?
Yes, I mean they're get out of here.
Yeah. But yeah, so they just picked him up, the Sixers.
Yeah, picked them up if you want to use that term.
Do you know the Sixers fired their coach? Sorry, I'm just like, yeah,
No, the
friendly.
Clippers fired. Do you say Clippers? Is that
I'm
what you said?
saying no, I'm saying like so the Sixers got rid of their coach
Yeah,
to pick up Doc
I think they
Rivers.
fired him a while ago though.
Oh,
I think.
okay. All right. So yeah, so you think they'll be good for the Sixers? I don't know how good they are, even though they have
Yeah, I mean
what's
they
his
have good
name?
players, but they've been like so close, but so far. I think it'll be good
So
for
he
them though.
might turn around the team.
Yeah, definitely. On to other things. Fantasy football.
Yes.
Um, so there's discussion with my fantasy team. Travis Kelsey, tight
How's
end
it
for
doing,
the.
by the way?
Well, if ESPN Fantasy would load, I would be able to tell you. I think it is taking longer than expected to load the app. Thank you for your patience. Um, I think I was winning by like 40. I think I'm projected
What's
180.
your
Oh, here we go.
record?
I'm 2-1, but I'm gonna
That's
beat the
pretty
person I'm
good.
playing, which is good. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm up 150 to 115, and I
Y-
still have Julio and
Uh,
Travis Kelsey. Wow.
oh wow. So yeah,
And
speaking of Kelsey,
who's a great late round steal so far?
who
Justin Jefferson, rookie on the Vikings,
he's
been
good.
great. He was an up and coming rookie. He had like 30 last like 2 weeks ago by the time this comes out. But we didn't start him then because he wasn't that good. But he was a rookie, so we gave him the chance. He's like the wide receiver 2 on the Vikings. He had 15 for a flex, which is good.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and also Debo Samuel is off the IR, which is huge for me because he could be my receiver. My league is 3 receivers, so he'll be my. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe trade DJ Chark because he I don't know. I don't know. Figure it out.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
yeah. So the fantasy trade I was offered was Travis Kelsey for Austin Eckler. I would do that, but Eckler just got injured for multiple weeks. So personally, I don't think I want to do it. But I'm calling with someone else. I don't think it's worth it to trade that. For somebody who's gonna be out for a while.
Yeah, I mean like, and it
That
could just
also,
be extended.
sorry, but especially now, wait till the report comes back. If they say he's done for
Yeah,
the year or something more serious, or if they say he's only done for 2 weeks, then maybe
exactly.
I'd consider it.
Yeah, that's why you like don't do the trade now and then like
Yeah, that's what I'm
and then
saying.
like tomorrow
I
you get the
mean,
report he's out for
exactly,
the season. You're like, dang.
exactly, exactly.
I mean, like, do you think he like when he's uninjured, you think he's better than Kelsey?
Probably. Also, we need a running back though.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah, I mean, so that's the end, everybody. Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode. Follow us on Instagram at The Younger Half. Check us out on your favorite podcasting platform. Subscribe to us on the YouTube channel at The Younger Half. If you want to help us grow, consider supporting us on anchor.fm/The Younger Half/support or press the link in the description. For questions or comments, email us at TheYoungerHalf@gmail.com. Have a great week, everyone. Stay safe.